What if you could see behind the scenes of 100 dating profiles and finally understand what really matters in online dating? We did just that. We analyzed 100 real dating profiles to uncover the patterns, red flags, and little-known clues that separate genuine connections from potential scams. In the next few minutes, you'll learn what we found and how you can use these insights to stay safer and smarter online. Let's start with the first thing everyone notices: the photos. Across our sample, almost every profile led with their most flattering picture. That's no surprise, everyone wants to make a good impression. But we noticed something more telling: the variety of photos. Profiles that included a mix of settings, like a portrait, a candid shot, a group photo, maybe a vacation or hobby picture, gave us a much clearer sense of the person behind the profile. In contrast, profiles with 5 nearly identical studio-quality photos felt more like advertisements than introductions. But here's a key point. Just because someone looks great or uses professional photography doesn't mean their profile is fake. Attractive people use dating apps too, and so do people who invest in good photos. The real question is about consistency and context. Do the photos show the same person in different environments? Are they believable as snapshots from someone's life, or do they feel too curated? If every image seems to come from a different era, or if the backgrounds and lighting never match up, that's when it's worth taking a closer look. Next, we dug into the bios. Here's where things got interesting. The most common pattern? Generic language. Phrases like, "I'm honest, kind, and looking for love," were everywhere. There's nothing wrong with those words, but they don't tell you much. The profiles that stood out were the ones that got specific, mentioning a favorite book, a recent trip, an unusual hobby, or even a quirky pet. These details don't just make for better conversation starters, they're also harder for scammers to fake consistently across multiple messages. One of the biggest misconceptions we found is that certain scam signs are actually pretty weak indicators. For example, having vacation photos, wearing expensive clothes, or posting romantic quotes doesn't automatically mean a profile is fake. In fact, some of the most suspicious profiles were the ones that looked the most normal. The lesson here? Don't judge a book by its cover, or a profile by its prettiest photo. So, how do you tell if someone is genuine? Communication is key. When we looked at messaging patterns, a few things stood out. Be wary of profiles that move too fast, like declaring love or talking about a future together after just a handful of messages. Rapid emotional escalation can be a tactic to build trust quickly, but it can also be a sign of manipulation. Another clue is consistency. If someone's story changes, maybe their job, their city, or their family situation doesn't match up from one conversation to the next, that's a reason to pause and ask more questions. Video chat is another powerful tool. A real-time video call lets you see and hear the person, ask questions, and get a feel for whether they match their photos and stories. But remember, even a video call isn't foolproof. A real person can still be dishonest, so use video as just one part of your overall investigation. Now, let's talk about the biggest red flag we found: money. If someone you've met online asks for financial help, no matter how urgent or emotional their story sounds, take a step back. Whether it's a sudden emergency, a travel problem, or a request to help with a visa, this is where scams most often become obvious. A genuine relationship doesn't require you to send money to prove your feelings. With the rise of AI-generated images, spotting fake profiles is only getting harder. Today's technology can create faces and photos that look incredibly real. Sometimes you'll notice odd details, like strange hands, mismatched backgrounds, or distorted jewelry. But these clues are getting subtler. That's why it's so important to look at the whole picture. Photo consistency, real-time communication, and a believable story. So, what's the biggest lesson from analyzing 100 dating profiles? There's no single photo, phrase, or behavior that proves someone is real or fake. It's about patterns. Look for consistency in photos and stories. Engage in real conversations. Use video chat when possible. And above all, never send money to someone you haven't met in person. Online dating can be exciting and rewarding, but a little investigation goes a long way. Trust your instincts, verify what you can, and don't be afraid to walk away if something feels off. If you found these tips helpful, follow us for more investigations and advice on staying safe in the world of online dating. Because sometimes the most important clue isn't what you see, it's what you take the time to check.